Today's workout is a 15-minute postpartum Pilates inspired workout. Tone your back, glutes, and core in this 15-minute workout, no equipment required. Let's get started. Hey mamas, welcome to today's workout. We've got a 15-minute postpartum Pilates inspired workout. So we're going to do some Pilates inspired exercises to tone the glutes, core, and overall strengthen the body. We're going to begin over in a quadruped position. That's hands and knees with the knees under the hips and the hands under the shoulders. Inhale, engage the core by exhaling and pulling the belly button in toward the spine. We're going to extend the front leg out to the back, toes down, heel up. We're going to extend out to the back corner and then straight back. So we're just doing a little side hip extension to wake and warm the glutes and to fire that back body. So we're going to get this in the lower back, glutes, and hamstrings. Now, as we open up through the hip, it's really important to keep everything square to the floor. So that means hips and shoulders face the ground and hands press evenly through the mat. We want to avoid rotating externally through that hip. And you can know you're doing that if you feel that foot kind of opening up. We want to keep the heel pointed up and toes pointed down. The leg stays about hip level throughout this exercise. And we're going 50-second intervals, but you of course can take more breaks and go at your own pace. So you've just got a couple more seconds here. And rest. All right, 10 seconds. We're doing the same leg. This time we're going to take that leg straight out to the back corner and make little hip circles. So out on a diagonal, little circles. You can keep the foot flexed, pointed, relaxed, whatever you want to do here. I like to point my toe. It feels a little more natural here. So we're just making little circles, and you can see I'm taking my foot out to the side. That's going to get deeper into those side glutes and cause the core to react more. So it's a little more challenging here, but if you need to, you can take it straight back. That makes it a little bit easier, but you're still going to feel that nice burn in the glutes. Now we're just drawing little tiny circles, a couple of inches. It doesn't have to be a big movement. And in fact, we want to keep it about hip level, not too high, so as to not overextend into that low back. This is great for strengthening the postural muscles of the back and of course the glutes, hamstrings. We feel it a lot right there. Couple more here. All right, we're gonna use that same leg one more time. We've got a scorpion kick. So we're gonna take that front leg, we're gonna flex the foot, drive it up, stay at the top and pulse. So we keep the leg up about hip level and then we drive up through the heel of the foot. Now try not to drive out, try to drive up. So you're pulling your calf toward your hamstring and you're gonna feel more of that tension in the hamstring and the back of the body as a result. Same thing as before, keeping those hips and shoulders square to the floor, keeping that core engaged. Now, if you feel like you're really losing that core engagement or flaring your ribs a lot, I want you to just come down, reset, take some breaths, and then start back up again. We want to make sure we maintain that good core control. So if you haven't done any work to heal your core, I'd really recommend that before coming to a more advanced workout such as this one. Almost there. Good work. Okay, same thing. This time we're going to the other leg. So I'll show you facing the same side and so you can see what it looks like from a different angle. So shift that weight forward, side extension. So starting straight back, then open up the hip. So you can see as I open the leg, you want to be mindful that you're not shifting too much weight into that opposite side. So you can make sure you're maintaining good control by pressing evenly through the hands. That's going to keep the pressure evenly distributed through the body, help you balance, counterbalance with that leg in the air. So anytime we take a leg or an arm off the floor and minimize our points of contact to the floor, our core is going to have to work harder to find stability. So that's the beauty of a lot of these exercises today. It's going to force core stability to happen. And that's what I love about Pilates. It's all integrating the core, the glutes, muscles we need to strengthen postpartum. Rest. All right. Whew, I'm really feeling it now. Those hip circles are coming. This one, I think, is the hardest one. Leg out to the back corner and little circles. It doesn't matter which direction you go, by the way. Just trying to keep it small and controlled. Using that breath. Usually you exhale on the hard part, inhale on the easy part of an exercise. There is really no rhythm to that in these type of movements because the whole thing's hard, right? So just try to take breaths as you can, keeping that core engaged, keeping the glute engaged. And of course, if you need to, you can always set that leg down, reset, and bring it back up. There's really not a great way to modify this one other than just take a few more breaks. I know it's probably not what you want to hear, but all right, one more on this side, scorpion lifts. And you can feel by now your shoulders have been working a lot throughout this whole first few minutes. Scorpion lifts, little pulse, because your shoulders are staying over those wrists. We're loading that upper body, and that's also going to keep that pressure evenly distributed. So your arms are doing the work, but also when you're here, your core is going to work appropriately and safely. So we get all the muscles loaded properly and we feel it where we want to feel it. Keep flexing that foot, driving up through the heel. Whew. This is a glute burner. So important to have a strong core, have strong glutes. Also, they go hand in hand. And rest. Good work. Okay, we're coming on to our back now. So carefully come over and bring your hands wide, palms face the ceiling. We're gonna take the legs straight up to the sky, anchor the shoulders, and then slowly start to drop them to the front of the room. Go as far as you can without that opposite shoulder lifting, and then come back up. Now go to the opposite side, same thing. Go as far as you can, keeping that tension in the obliques. It's not a spinal twist, it's an oblique twist. So we wanna keep those shoulders anchored and then keep tension on the obliques. So right when you kind of feel your core starting to pull, or you start to feel like maximum pressure, that's where we wanna stop. Hold it and bring it back up using those abs. You can also modify by bending the knees. That's going to take some of that pressure off. Nice and slow on this one. We really want to focus on depth of range. And just overall, it should feel really good on the spine, even though it's not a spinal stretch. All right, we're going to move to a forearm plank with a rotation. So bring the elbow 90 degrees under the shoulder, bottom leg bent, top leg straight. We're gonna take that top arm, thread it underneath, reaching toward that back rib cage, and then reach up, extend the arm overhead. So we're rotating through just the upper spine. Hips are staying square to the front of the room. Exhale on that rotation, really engaging the deep core pelvic floor, and then inhale, lift. Now you can stay here with the bottom leg touching the floor, or you can scissor the feet, just a little twist through the hips as well. Now you don't have to add the twist through the hips. That's a little bit more advanced. If you want to, you can just do the upper back, the upper spine, that thoracic twist. But if you want to take it all the way onto your toes, you'll want to make sure your butt stays down and your hips stay square to the floor. All right, let's flip it around. We're going to do that same thing other side. So lots of options in this one. You can even take out the rotation and hold the side plank for a bit if that feels good to you today. We're really focusing on creating mobility in that thoracic spine and then using those obliques to rotate. If you want to take it to the next level, you can get onto the toes or onto the sides of the feet rather. We're scissoring the feet here. That's going to allow us to rotate. We can stay here, just the thoracic spine, or you can take it to that full rotation onto the toes, bringing it into a plank position, hips down. One more. All right, we're moving back onto our back. This time we've got a reverse crunch with a leg extension. So hands by your sides, palms can be down or up. We're gonna bring the knees in over the hips, extend the legs, then lower the legs back to 45 degrees. Brace that core. Bring it in again, up, Exhale as you lower. You could go 45 degrees, you can go lower. You just want to make sure you keep that strong core brace, lower back toward the floor. Now, if you're feeling advanced, you could lift the tailbone at the top before you lower back down. But if you're feeling that lower back kind of arching or moving a whole lot, just focus on control right here. You don't quite even have to go as low. You can also come back down through bent legs instead of straight legs. Take it as low as you can. Good work. All right, we're moving on to a hollow body crunch. So we're gonna start with fingers at temples. We're gonna crunch off the floor and then shoot the legs and arms out over the shoulders, legs to 45, crunch up, and then shoot the arms and legs out. Brace that core. Again, legs can go 45 degrees, arms stay over the shoulders, or you can alternatively take the head down as you extend the legs to take some of that pressure out of the upper abs. You can also go higher up here with the legs to take some of that pressure off the core and the legs. You're gonna feel this one in your quads as well because you're having to tense up those quads to hit that hollow body. So here we're integrating upper abs, lower abs, deep core, and it's challenging. Good work. Okay, now we are going to go to flutter kicks. We're gonna stay on our back, taking the feet just a few inches off the floor, straight legs, hands behind by your hips. You can start high, you can start low. Well, that wasn't really low, that was more in the middle. But you can start low, or in the middle, or up here. Whatever feels good to you today. But just make sure you have that deep core connection, belly button to spine. Even if you're here, make sure you're not tensing through the fingertips. You're keeping that core engaged. If you start to feel that lower back, just take a breath or bring back the bent knees. You can kick here. Knees over hips. I'm gonna stay right in the middle. We only got a little bit left. Let's try to push that intensity to the end. Let's go lower. This is the hardest one for me. Rest. All right, now we're moving over onto our stomach. So prone arm leg lifts. So you're gonna separate the feet about hip distance apart, same with the arms. We're gonna lift opposite arm and leg, leading with the thumb up and heel up. So lift front arm, back leg, back arm, front leg. Right here, you're looking at the ground, chin is tucked. Your head can even be on the ground if you would like. As you lift the leg, squeeze your glute. Try to lift the leg straight off the floor, all the way up to that hip flexor, that connection. And then the arm, you can even start to lift the chest a little bit more. So you're not just even lifting the arm, you're getting that little bit, kind of micro back bend at the top. So we're really firing up that posterior chain, the cross slings, that's why we do opposites. Exhale as you lift. Engaging that back body. This one is really good for stretching out those tight muscles as well. All right, we're gonna stay with back body work. This time, take the arms wide, palms down. We're gonna do opposites again. So front arm, back leg, airplane. Lift the front arm, look toward the front hand, lift the back leg straight off the floor. So the legs are doing the same thing as we just did, straight off the floor up to that hip flexor connection. But the arms are wide, and this time we're rotating through that upper spine. So look toward the hand and try to lift your chest off the ground. Now you can see I'm pushing through my opposite hand to lift off the floor, but as an alternative, I'll show you next. You can keep this hand off the ground, so you're not using that little leverage. You're having to force your back to work harder to lift. So either way is good. We just want to make sure we're not craning the neck. We're keeping the chin tucked, nice and easy. All right, we got one more here. We're gonna take the knees wide, heels together, feet flexed. This is called the skydiver. So we're gonna come up off the floor, lifting arms and legs, or chest and legs rather, and then reach back all the way, reach forward and down. Let's do that again. Reach back, holding those knees off the ground, squeezing glutes, engaging the back, and then lower back down. If you need more rest time at the bottom, you can take it. Exhale though, I want you to try to push those heels up, lift those quads, lift the chest, and then squeeze shoulder blades together as you reach back. The longer you can stay up and the slower you can drag this out, actually the better. So we want to go really slow, forcing those muscles to find control and stability. You can see I'm kind of making like a swimming motion here, like a butterfly motion. Trying to pull a little bit higher off the floor. Let's do one more. Whew. That one is so challenging, but honestly, one of my favorites. You can really feel that back body, right? You might be a little bit tight, but it should feel good in a few minutes after we release those muscles for a bit. You can also go into a stretch workout. Just make sure to not do any heavy lifting or too much for the back body after we really just fatigue that core. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you like these types of workouts, please let me know. I'm always wondering what type of content my viewers enjoy the most. So please let me know in the comments what you thought, which exercises you liked, maybe which ones you found the most challenging. And I'll see you back here for our next workout together.